Welcome back to Niche Marketing Monopoly. I am Paul Rhines, your instructor for the program. This is about million-dollar business positioning, and this is Module 4, what every buyer wants and how to give it to them. Before we move on, I want to just do a quick recap on all that we've covered so far and to share with you a couple of things that I've got notes here on that I just wanted to make a point of making sure that I got out to you. We've been through a lot and we've covered a good bit of ground already. We talked about getting clear on your message. We discussed your avatar. We started looking at choices and the value and importance of having choices. And I also shared with you that if you can't give someone choices between your product or your price, you can give them life choices. And I want to take just a second and acknowledge that that whole life choices presentation that I shared with you, where I was talking about telling your avatar that, if you're getting all of the leads that you want and you're producing everything at the level that you want to be producing at, you're being seen where you want to be seen, and that's great. Keep doing that and know that I'm here to help you in the future. But if you're not getting all of the leads that you want, if your copy isn't converting at the level you want, if your X isn't doing Y for you, then know that you need to do something different. And the solution, I want to acknowledge that that presentation came almost word for word. I've got it pretty much memorized now, but came almost word for word from Mike Koenig's when he launched I think it was the Main Street Marketing or Social Media Marketing Machines. And that was content that he actually gave me when they started up the program there. And I have used that to great benefit for a lot of different places. But I just wanted to acknowledge that that was almost word for word directly from Mike. And I want to thank him and acknowledge for his contributions. We talked about assumptive closes and common mistakes or assumptive choices rather, and common mistakes and how to avoid them. We discussed the tenets of effective copywriting, looked at other important factors where copy is concerned. We looked at ways to turn adversity into opportunity, sharing with you my streaming video receptionist alliance presentation. We talked about how to differentiate yourself, even if your product is the same as everybody else's, as in the case of Clorox. We looked at what your market is made up of and who you want to be selling to. Took a look at some best practices and examined why they're important. And then we dug into demographics a little bit. Now, I want you to understand something about the whole Quantcast process. There's not data, and you need to understand this, there's not data for all of the sites out there on the internet. They have to be Quantcast quantified is the way they refer to it. And if the site has not been quote unquote quantified, you're not going to get data from them. So it takes a little bit of digging. And I also want you to understand that what you're trying to do is find somebody who's getting large amounts of traffic that is attracting your existing audience that has been quantified so you can get that Quantcast information. So if you sell fishing lures, then you want to target looking for an online outlet that sells outdoor sporting goods or sporting equipment or camping gear or directly into the fishing world. So you want to find somebody who's attracting your clientele, the ones that you know buy your product, and then be able to dig in and get the demographics from all of that. So that's the quick recap, and with that in mind, let's go ahead and move into Module 4. And in this module, we're going to be looking at something that probably not a lot of people writing copy give enough attention to, much less marketers, and that is feelings. Module 4 is all about feelings. So let's go ahead and look at the first aspect of all of that. I told you earlier in this program, here's the teaser and the honor, that the one thing that every prospect buyer wants and how to give it to them right now was something that I was going to share with you. And that's what this is about. Discovering the one thing that every prospective buyer wants and how you can give it to them right now. So let me ask you a couple of questions to get us started on this topic, and you can answer them just based on your own experience. Let me ask you, would you like a new car? I say you don't. What about an extra $100,000 in sales? I say you don't want that either. Well, what about attracting 1,000 loyal subscribers to your list tomorrow? I say you don't want that either. You don't want any of those things. You don't want a new car, you don't want an extra $100,000 in sales, and you don't want 1,000 loyal subscribers added to your list tomorrow. What you actually want, what we all want, what every person wants on this planet is a feeling. And a feeling is what it is that drives all of us to do the things that we do where our purchase decisions are concerned. And this is why you've bought every program you've ever purchased, or every training system, every tool, every piece of software is because of a feeling. You see, you don't want a new car so that you can have 4 pieces of rubber sitting on thousands of pounds of metal parked in your driveway. You don't want new subscribers on your list so that you can brag about the fact that you have 1,000 new subscribers on your list. You don't want $100,000 in sales. What you want is the feelings that you think you will get from having all of those things. You want the feelings that you think you'll get from having that sexy new car. You want the feelings that you think you'll be able to get from having that 100,000 or 1,000 new subscribers on your list. You want the feeling that you think you would get if you had an additional $100,000 in sales. It's those feelings that drive us, and it's the feelings that need to be appealed to when you're crafting and creating copy. Now, I want to share with you what I call the $1 million delusion. And the $1 million delusion is this. If I can just get enough people to my sites or offers, they'll see the amazing value that I have and understand that I've got the best solution for their problem, which is X. And just like the scientist who's so fond of his own brain that he's pulled it out of his head to put it in a dish that he can look at and admire, you see, many people believe that they'll buy because they love what you have, and you'll make a lot of money, and you'll be able to take trips and buy boats. It's a delusion, and it's not nearly accurate when you compare it to what reality actually is. And the hard reality is that even if you have absolutely the best solution for hip dysplasia in small dogs, even if they did a search for "my dog can't walk" and they found your site, even if they've heard of your product or service at some point in the past, they don't care about your solution. Now, that may seem like a hard pill to swallow, but in fact, it's true. You see, they have other concerns. There are things that are more important to them, and your solution doesn't enter into the equation at this point. The only thing they care about is the fact that their dog is in pain, and therefore, they're in pain. Does that make sense? So, if you don't understand their pain, then your solution is not going to be a good fit for their needs. It's as simple as that. You see, the minute they hit your offer, your video, your website, or post, they're in resistance and they're highly skeptical. So what you don't want to do is position yourself as an instant expert. You don't introduce your perfect solution. You see, that's the mistake that everybody makes. That's what everyone else does. That's not how you want to present yourself. That's the mistake that drives people to feel like this person doesn't understand my pain. Remember, we're talking about feelings here. What everybody wants is a feeling. If you maintain that awareness at the forefront of your mind while you're crafting your copy, your video scripts, all of those things, it will impact the results that you get dramatically. Now, here's the thing. They just don't care about whether you're the instant expert or you have the perfect solution or your credibility is such that it's unimpeachable and without question. It doesn't really matter to them. To put it another way, they're apathetic. Now, why are they apathetic? Because they don't believe that they're going to find a solution for what they're looking for, which is their perfect solution. You see, they already have a very clear idea in mind of what it is that they want and what it is that's going to provide them with a solution to their problems. They already understand what it is that they're after. If they don't get the idea that you have that same concept in mind, then they're not going to connect with you. You see, when you get that traffic to your site, when that person arrives at your landing page or your video or your offer or your Facebook page, wherever it is, they are predisposed to a state of doubt. Now, that's important to be aware of because once you understand that, you get that they don't want to be sold anything. They want to be understood. They want support, and they want to believe that there's somebody out there who cares. And they're suffering from consumer doubt, and they're guarded because they haven't found a solution which fits the bill for those 3 simple bullet points of feeling understood, being supported, and discovering that somebody else cares. So, in the next module, you're going to learn how to deal with this It's a psychological hurdle, and I'm going to show you how to overcome that hurdle right when they get to your offer, your landing page, your video, or whatever it is. For right now, I just want you to be aware of the fact that all of these things factor in to creating quality copy. And as you go through and you come to understand all of the different elements that we're going to continue to build on, you're going to discover that the feelings that people have are the driving force behind all of these decisions that they're going to make. And I'm going to show you how to keep that in mind and how to deal with that apathy that people have built up and the reason that they have the consumer doubt. I'm also going to show you how to overcome it almost instantly. So that's in the next module. Go ahead and complete any exercises that you haven't finished in your workbook at this point, and I will see you in the next video.